Welcome back, everybody, to another video at A to Book. My name is Malik, and today we are going to be talking about why you don't read. I think oftentimes when I'm talking to somebody about why they don't read, they usually have a couple of excuses about why they don't read, a couple of reasons why they don't read, And I'm here to just debunk all of that shit and give you some actual tools to get you to start reading. And obviously this isn't for you. This isn't like me trying to force you to read. This is, you obviously clicked on this video if you want some kind of push to reading a book. So let's start right here. One of the main reasons people always give me why they don't read is that they have no time. And technically, yes, you have no time. There's 24 hours in a day, and you are doing something every hour of those 24 hours. But if you wanted to read, then I think instead of saying you have no time, you should probably say something like you don't know how to carve out the time for reading, because you just don't magically find the time to read unless you actually make some time or find some or take time from something else. So whether that's, taking an hour or 30 minutes from being on the Xbox or PlayStation, or making sure you get a little 10-minute read before you go to bed, really makes a difference in how you get through a book or a novel. I also think that a good thing to do if you don't think you have time to read is to pair reading with another habit that you really like. And this is called a habit stacking, where you take something new that you're trying to do, and then add it on top of a habit that you really, really, really like to do. So an example of this would be, something I really like to do, playing video games. Something I like to do is play video games. So before playing video games, if I wanted to habit stack for reading, if I know I'm about to go pick up the controller, or if me and my friends say we're going to play a game at 8 o'clock, then, the time before that, I will make sure to read for at least 15 minutes, read a couple pages in a book, put it down, and then I can even pick it back up after I finish playing the game and probably read before bed or something like that. And doing something like this, especially if you do something like a chapter each time you integrate this habit stacking, you can really snowball into reading a book a lot faster. Because I think the hardest part of reading, even for me, is starting something new. And the biggest thing is, the best part of a book isn't the beginning. The beginning tries to hook you so that you can continue reading on, but the best part of the book is usually in the 50% mark of the book, or towards the end of the book when the resolution is coming. And that's what you really want to read, but you can't read those parts until you start at the beginning. So doing something like reading a chapter each time before you do one of your regular habits, before you go to the gym, before you play a video game, before you knit or something like that, will help you snowball into, finishing a book. Now, let's say you really want to read and you can find the time for it, but you don't know where to start and you're kind of overwhelmed because there's so many options. I mean, look at all this. There's a lot of options. You can really go anywhere when you're trying to read a book. And if you're trying to figure out where to start, I have good news for you, because you've come to the right place. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, because I always give recommendations on books that you can read. I even have a video. I have a video out that is a really good video for any reader to choose a book from. But I do understand this frustration or this obstacle when it comes to reading, because you generally don't know, if you have only read in school settings and you've never really read for recreation or for fun, you don't really know where to start, and you don't know what book you would like. My advice for this would be to think about what movies or TV shows that you really like. If you like something like Severance, I don't know what to recommend for Severance. If you like something like the Sherlock show on, I forget what it's called, this show right here. If you like something like that, then you should probably read a mystery novel. If you want to read something with a fantasy element to it, then you can read something like The Tainted Cup by Robert Bennett Jackson. Trying to pull recommendations from areas where you already have an idea of what you like, specifically from movies and TVs, is a really good indicator of what you might like when it comes to books. Now, the overwhelming part comes when, this is a meme, or this is the thing people tell me in general. It's like, I'm not trying to read books that are dictionaries. Like, I'm not trying to read something like this. When people say that, that's a lot of shade, but I get it. Nobody's trying to start off reading this. And if you have somebody that's telling you to start your reading journey or start reading books that are this big, don't trust that person. They don't like you. They don't love you. Come to me. I will tell you the best place to start. Because starting with this is insanity. If you have somebody telling you that, no, don't. It's very rare for somebody that is a brand new reader to pick up a book like that and, be all in on the book. I think for new readers, if you are trying to get back into reading, start with something that's smaller and something that is more, easily accessible to you. And I think also don't start with a big series, something that's like 10 books. Don't do that. I think the most books that you should do when starting to read is starting a trilogy. But you should probably do a standalone, right? I think standalones are great entry points for readers, for new readers, because they're contained stories and you don't have to go looking for, the next book. You don't have to decide if you are going to get into the next book or not. You read the story from beginning to end, and that's where the story ends. And if you do like that standalone, there's obviously going to be recommendations from people that have read that book that can give you recommendations of other things that you might like. Now, let's say you aren't overwhelmed and you have found the time, but you know that you're not going to keep up with it. Because of your attention span, and that you're kind of used to instant gratification, you are not going to be able to keep up with reading a book. And unfortunately, I really get this challenge because this is something that all of us deal with in our everyday lives. Thank you, technology. Thank you, social media. And this is one of the reasons why I put a timer on TikTok, because TikTok is the devil in disguise. I love it, but I will lose hours on there if I didn't have a timer. I still do sometimes. But having a timer on there is something that sets a hard limit for me to be like, okay, this is all I can get out of this app for today. Go do something else. Something like having a short attention span is something I understand too, just because reading a book is something that requires you to be engaged with for a long period of time. I'm talking hours. You may have to take, there are a few books that you can read in a day, right? Few word only books that you can read in a day. I can read a manga volume in a day, but a book like this, I could not read in a day. It would probably take me a couple of days to read a book like that. Now, if it's a book like Piranesi, a shorter novel, this is something that you might be able to read in a day, but you have to stay at it for a long period of time. I'm talking hours. Books take days to finish. And the way to get around this and to really hack this obstacle is to do something like breaking it down into smaller pieces so that it's accomplished. You're able to accomplish the bigger goal. And what this means is, setting up what the goal is for. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week. What's the goal for you to read in this book? Is it a chapter a day, like I was saying before? Is it 15 pages a day? Is it, read 5 chapters in a week? If you set that goal for yourself, you're not as focused on the end goal of the book. You're more so focused on meeting your smaller goal. And your smaller goal just helps you snowball into bigger goals. So I think that's the most useful advice I can give for this obstacle. If it's not useful, tell me to go fuck myself in the comments below, because I don't know. This last thing is something that I hear a lot. And it's something that I really push back on, because I think that is just on your perspective. And something that people tell me a lot was that reading isn't fun, which obviously isn't true. If it was true, I wouldn't have this shelf full of books that I love. But I think this is something people say because they associate reading with school. Because in school, they assign you different books that you had to read, either for, a test, an essay, a grade. And oftentimes it's probably a book that you didn't care about and a book that you would probably never pick up to read yourself. But myself and I personally, because I was a bad student, I read only the books that I felt like reading when it came to like my classes for English and other stuff. So books like, I can count on my hand, the books that I read for school. Like I read The Contender, The Giver, I Am David, Shakespeare, and To Kill a Mockingbird. And there's probably one more I'm forgetting. But other than that, from like middle school to end of college, I didn't read a book if I wasn't interested in it. Yeah, because why would I want to read Heart of Darkness or The Picture of Dorian Gray when I can read about Percy Jackson, Aragon, Mistborn? I had other priorities, and the Heart of Darkness definitely was not a part of it. Don't tell my English teacher. But I think this is just like, people that say this, they are stuck in the mindset where like they associate reading with school and academia and books that they didn't like, and they haven't really tried to read a book that they actually like, right? Now, to this, I say to you, shut the No, if you are somebody that says this, then I think the only thing that I can say to you is to be open-minded and not formulate your opinion or your thoughts, your feelings about reading based off of what you've read in school. Base it off of things that you've read for fun. If you've read stuff for fun and you didn't like books and you just feel like it's a waste of your time, please let me know in the comments below what exactly you're reading so that I can know what books to stay away from, because I'm deeply interested in that. But if you are somebody that, you think reading isn't fun, but you clicked on this video and you obviously are thinking about reading again, my friend, subscribe and let me give you some fire recommendations. I got bangers, guys. No, I think for real, yeah, if you look at some of my other videos, I have good recommendations. If you specifically want to get into science fiction or fantasy, there are some books that I'm going to recommend, or books that I have recommended on other videos that you can definitely dig into. Another good place to start is with Daniel Green. Daniel Green had a video where he really did a deep dive. And when I say deep dive, this man went deep into fantasy for beginners. And that's another video that you guys should check out to get an idea of where to start. If you start at X, where do you go from there? Because he really does a good job of diving in the different paths that you can take in fantasy. If you are planning on reading, if you are planning on reading something after watching this video, please let me know what exactly you're thinking about reading in the comments below. I would like to hear what you're thinking about reading. And if you have no idea what to read and you want to just ask me some questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below too. I am always down to answer some questions too. I will see you guys next time. Peace.